9 years ago, I was living in a place called Plantation, Florida, which was like 40 miles just above Miami. And this idea struck me. What was this idea? I was living at the southern tip of East Coast, and I wanted to go all the way to the northern tip of America on the East Coast, and that would be Niagara Falls. Not by plane, but on the road. How many of you think it's crazy? It's about 1400 miles one way. I had my team of people set, and we were set. This craziness, I said, we want to take it on. There was only one question. Man, it's going to be too painful to travel 1400 miles sitting in the car. Well, I had architected a solution as well. I call it the palace on wheels. We flipped the seats out and brought in the pillars. And I want to show you quickly what do I mean by palace on wheels. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Yes. Ready for the journey?
Yes.
Here you go. This was the epic trip that we were doing in that palace on wheels.
Wow.
Okay, it's a total trip from Plantation, Florida, all the way to Niagara Falls, and then New York was the next stop, and then Washington, D.C., and all the way back. This was a 6-day trip. Okay? Are you ready for the virtual trip?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
This was my team that we went together. All 5 of us were very eager to drive. That's why we took on the road trip. These were the only tools. GPS was expensive for us, $10 per day. We were not ready to spend. So we used the atlas and we had printouts from Google Maps. The English written instructions. And there were some rules. We were all crazy drivers. While the maximum speed was 70 miles, we were like, hey, let's operate at 80, 85 because we had to cover long distance. We had to stop as well. So the rule was, anybody who gets caught by the cop at 85 miles and above, it's an individual payment. Anything between 70 to 84, we're going to split the fee. that was the deal. Okay, and I had this CD which has got all the Indian songs and the English songs which would cater to the mood of sun, mist, the greenery, the mountains, and the rain. And we experienced all these things and we used to play the songs. Right? Day 1, it's evening 6:30 p.m. We depart, and this is how it looked like. 3 people at the back, there's a driver and there's a navigator. So luxury. Well, you see the emotions, this person is asleep, somebody's like, what the heck is going on, and I'm happy. Myself, the wanderlust, very excited. It's not just my personal experience, I want to take snaps, I want to capture it in my life, as also I want to record the moving camera as well. So I would not sleep. This was like my 5 days of awesomeness. We continue for 24 hours. Evening we leave at 6:30. Day 2, we continue the journey. This is how the view looked like for us. The whole scenery. Amazing conversations in the van. When we hit West Virginia around 11 o'clock in the morning, a cop came in. We were not sure whether it was legal to have the palace on wheels like that. I was like wiping the glass. We had pulled onto the shoulder. The cop considered, do you need help? No, we're just washing the glass. And he just goes back. We had no idea that it was not okay to have palace on wheels on the road. Right? What we did in the van for so long, we played cards, we discussed a lot, we viewed, we slept, a lot of stuff happened. Finally, we arrived after 24 hours exactly at 6:30 p.m. Exactly. It took 24 hours to reach 1400 miles. And behold, this was the bunk where we stopped and we were like, hey, we have arrived in Niagara Falls. The reason I put this photo is, can you look at the fuel price? It's still the same even after 9 years. Day 3, we rest for the night. We actually go to Niagara. We were not ready to sleep. We went to Niagara, but it was like misty and the light was not on, so we had to come back. We rested and we get started. Wheels on Palace. That's what it had happened after the travel. So I had to reconstruct it again. This was the back view. This was the 3-layer, multi-layered. This was from four apartments. All the colors, if you see. And I was excited about my passion. This is the architect. The reason I wore this shirt is 14 years old shirt. Right? The beautiful Niagara. How many of you been to Niagara? Definitely a place to visit. Although it's man-made, it's amazing.
Oh,
We went on the Maid of the Mist, not just once, but twice. Because first time I was only recording and I was like, no man, I want personal experience as well. So we went twice, we soaked in, we had tremendous fun. That's the beauty of Niagara. Alright? It was 4 p.m. when we are set to leave to New York. The distance from Niagara to New York was about 400 miles and it was about 8 hours journey. So 4 o'clock in the evening after we do all this and we drive 8 hours. At around 1 o'clock we reach Plantation. So we reach Niagara. And the traffic was high. So we had to manage. It took about 9 hours. Day 4. The day 4 begins at 1 a.m. when we reach New York. It was 1900 miles while we reached New York. And what happened? I was not ready to sleep. The 3 people were tired. I could rub my passion on one more person, and he agreed to say, man, let's go and explore New York. We got only few hours to sleep. We'll chuck 2 hours. We'll go and explore New York. So we went to the receptionist and asked, hey, is there any place that we could just go and come back very soon? He said, there's a place called East Boulevard. It's just a 5-minute drive. While he was talking about the instructions, we were like, listen, we just got into the van and we got lost and we got into the Lincoln Tunnel. This is the tunnel that connects between New Jersey and New York. We were staying in New Jersey. So this tunnel straight up led to the epic Times Square and we were like, wow. If you see the time, it's 3:10 a.m. Wow. And there are like a lot of people still. And I said, we are not special. Too many people. But we enjoyed. We spent some time. It was 4 o'clock. And I recorded this as I would be speaking to people. It was 4 o'clock when we, on the return, we actually hit the East Boulevard. The picture is like bad, but yeah, this is the skyline that he was talking about. So we did see the East Boulevard, and then we slept for 4 hours. I was still drooling, but hey, passion was high. And we went, this is a place I want to share where one of our partners just missed the train. 5 of us got in, we stepped out back, but one guy got stuck. So we had to wait for the guy to come back. What was happening over there? Finally, we again gathered together. We visited the New York Wall Street. We went to the Statue of Liberty. We went to Staten Island. We went to Madame Tussauds. We went to the World Trade Center base, now the Freedom Towers. By night, 10 o'clock, we had come to Empire State Building. It was 10 o'clock, 1 minute. The lady was announcing that it was closed, but I was super enthusiastic. Man, I've come all the way here, you don't want to miss. So I go to her lady and said, Madam, we have come from India and we want to really see, please allow us. The lady in the mic itself, sorry sir, people come from all over the world to see this place. I'm sorry, I cannot allow you. We're like, last moment we come back. It was like 4 hours journey from here to Washington, D.C. And we were like at 10 o'clock, so we had to spend 1 hour or so to just, so we moved around in Times Square, and then we started. And this was the look before we started from New York. Like, man, another 4.5 hours at night. Are you crazy? We have not slept. But enthusiasm was on. We had to cover the journey. There was no choice because 6 days all had been planned well before. Day 5, we drive for about 5 hours in the night from 11:30 to 4:30. We sleep. Guys are still asleep. I'm awake. So all the scenes, I'm the one who's been awake. And this is the place where we had parked the car. I could not drive anymore. And then it was like around 8:30. and people were still asleep, like so tired after so much of journey. People had moved from Palace on Wheels. This is what had happened, right? Finally, we go, we enjoy, we saw the Capitol, we went to the White House, visited both the views. There was a parade happening during that time. Finally, we head back south. It's about a 1,000-mile journey back from Washington, D.C. to Plantation. Right, we took about 20 hours, and finally we came here. Finally, at the end of the trip, there was a major accomplishment. And what I would like to share is, once the mind goes to a new experience, the mind stretches and it never gets back to its old dimensions. While this idea was to explore, dream and discover, now that my mind is stretched, this is my next plan. For real. But this time it would be refreshed, relax and rejuvenate. Probably I want to use an RV and travel 3,000 miles. Over to you, Toastmasters.
So if you guys can take a couple of seconds and give a evaluation of.
Good? Yes. All right, Santosh, the epic trip. Sorry, I'm still thinking about the speech, that's why it was so funny. The criteria for his speech was getting comfortable with visual aids. So I'm going to go down the list and then let you know what you did good, etc. The speech says were the visual aids appropriate for the speech and message. Of course, we all got the message. It was good. Did the visual aid help you understand and remember the speaker's point? I think definitely it did. We know you took a trip from south to north, and then now we know you want to take a trip from east to west. So it was good. Was the visual aid clearly visible? Yes, of course. If the speaker used computer-based visual aids, was it easy to read and well designed? Definitely. Did the speaker use visual aids smooth and with confidence? I think it was really good. It was funny. It was, you were pointing back and forth to it, so good job on that one. How clear was the speaker's purpose? The purpose I got is, hey, go out there and explore. Whether or not, don't look at the map, but plan it out and do what you're really passionate about. Did the speaker use body language to reinforce the message? You showed a lot of excitement in your body language. You could definitely tell this is something you really loved. Either from your speech you said, hey, you were the one who probably didn't even sleep the whole entire journey. We could definitely tell that because every time you spoke, it was just so much excitement and passion going with your voice. I could see that. You're a trip, you're a traveler. You love to travel. You could definitely tell that by your voice. Was the speaker's word of choice effective and appropriate? I didn't really catch anything that wasn't inappropriate, and I wasn't really paying attention to as much as I think I should have, because I'm not the grammarian, so I think I was just enjoying the speech. Was the speech well researched? It was, because it was your own personal story, it was your personal journey. I think you did a good job on it. Now to the best part, which is I think you can improve on a little bit.
Yes.
The speech is 5 to 7 minutes. You went about 11 minutes, so that's something you can just try to keep an eye on. The other thing is, if you look at the speech, it says two or more visual aids. You only did one, so. Oh, so the sweater's one. Okay, there you go. Okay, so that's that. At the end, you left with a quote, which I think is amazing. I didn't expect this quote. It was, once your mind experiences something new, it wants to never go back to the same original spot. So I think that's something we can all relate to. It's to push ourselves to do something new and get out of the comfort zone and try something new. You never know what you're going to do, or you never know what you're going to accomplish if you just show up to something or do something. So that's something I really got out of it, and I'm going to use that. Towards some of the points, you were kind of rushing a little bit. I felt like because you were excited, it felt like you were in the trip already again. So you felt like you were, going quickly, and then when you're pressing the buttons, you could hear the voice of the button going really hard, and you were just doing this like really quick. And the pictures, you had great pictures. I think what you can do to make the speech a little bit shorter with the criteria is to cut some of the pictures down and then focus a little bit more on each picture. Because as an audience, you put up a picture for about 5 seconds, you click the button. So that's something, exciting pictures, really good pictures, shorten it a little bit, so that way we can see the pictures and then it'll shorten the speech as well. But overall, you did a good job. I always say this, you're a funny guy. I think you should, next time for the humorous content, you should definitely try. Because just some of your speeches, some of the body, the things you said is really funny and it's really good. and you would definitely win the humorous speech contest. In my opinion, I would vote for you. So, thank you so much.